Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another 6 minutes of meaning. Start your week on a Monday morning in the best way possible. And we've been focusing on the concept over the last couple of weeks since we've been starting this seminar on the idea of listening to those negative voices in our heads, falling down, making mistakes, perhaps doing activities, actions, behaviors that we don't wish to be doing. And following in that same vein, I wanted to begin with a very simple question. Why is it that we end up behaving that way? Why do we make the mistakes that we mistakenly do? It's an amazing, basic, fundamental question. And I want to share with you two different approaches to how a person can see themselves. The first point of view would present an individual that people are capable of performing an act that they believe that they are able to achieve. What does that mean? If you saw yourself as a scrupulously honest individual, as somebody that could only do the most honest of activities, then you would never be tempted to steal. Your self-image would simply prevent you from succumbing to that activity. On the other hand, when a person feels disappointed in themselves, when a person feels, I use a strong word, disgusted with themselves, then they're actually apt to do things which are indeed disappointing. And there's a profound point in this. A sense of a person's self-image is actually going to determine their behaviors. A person with low self-image, a person that doesn't feel much of themselves, a person that feels that they are failing in their challenges, failing in their life's battle, is going to be a lot more susceptible and open to falling down to those negative voices inside of them. When a person sees themselves as essentially injured, a person sees themselves as lacking, a person sees themselves as damaged goods, then it's only a hop, skip, and a jump towards them actually behaving in ways that they would rather not. And yet, nevertheless, when confronting with a difficult test, they actually feel themselves falling down. This brings to mind the way in which we speak to people, the way in which we speak to ourselves, and actually the way in which we have been spoken about, especially at formative young stages of our lives. When an individual is impressionable, still perhaps in elementary school, and they are told, you are messy, you are sloppy. Slightly older child, you are irresponsible, you are selfish. Then when they hear those messages, it's going to create a belief within them that that's their essential self. And each time a young child does the wrong thing, as young children are wont to do, we have to be so careful how we speak and use our language. You are messy, you are late, you are mean, you are selfish. Those go to the core of an individual as they are forming their identity about themselves. Contrast this, the beautiful story told by Rabbi Dr. Abraham Twersky, popular lecturer, psychiatrist, Hasidic thinker born to an illustrious family. He said that every single time he misbehaved, his parents had a singular expression. It was in the Yiddish, and what they said to him is, es passt nicht. This isn't worthy of you. And he said that that made all the difference in his life, because every time he did the wrong thing, and as little kids, we do the wrong things, to hear the message, do you know how great you are? Do you know how special you are? Do you know your qualities and your strengths? Es passt nicht. This isn't worthy of the type of person that you are and the wonderful person you're going to become. And he writes in one of his books that this message builds up a person. This message communicates and it becomes believed within that you are a fine, upstanding individual. Remember who you are. A number of years ago, there was an Israeli who was arrested for selling arms and ammunitions to Hezbollah. And everyone in Israel, when the news broke, was completely shocked. But that's exactly what we are doing when we are giving someone else a negative self-image. That's what we are doing when we talk about ourselves, when we think about ourselves in that negative way. We are simply giving an enemy ammunition with which to further weaken and hurt us. A person's self-image, yes, is formed in early childhood, but it continues to be somewhat fluid throughout the rest of our lives. You can give yourself and every other person no greater gift than to be able to say, you are strong enough to pass this test. Popular saying has it that you are what you eat. The truth of the matter is, you are what you think yourself to be. Have a great day. Have a great week.